What's up, y'all? Thanks for having me. I'm Butoshi. I've been a founder in the Bitcoin ordinal space since it came out about 2 years ago. I've been in the crypto space for 4+ years. I'm also calling myself a self-proclaimed AI professor because I started just documenting how I do vibe coding and using AI to accelerate myself. Literally became 100 times more efficient. That's not an over-exaggeration within the last 2 years of just learning this and compounding this intelligence growth so much. But today we're talking about, I guess, lore of crypto and AI, and I guess general theories and the future of it, and kind of going through the story. Honestly, it's been a wicked last, 6 months since all of this happened. But starting off, I want to start where we currently are in the state of AI. So real quick, how many of you guys use ChatGPT? Whole class? Basically the whole class? Okay, very, very good. So in terms of the advancement right now, straight facts is that we have AI that could think and reason. Like, I work with AI that probably have, this is a guess, but probably have an IQ of about 140 plus. There's insane advancements on all fields of AI. I actually generated this entire presentation slideshow completely with ChatGPT off a couple prompts. So like each slide is its own prompt. It does the text really well, which is actually kind of crazy now. And if you guys seen just how realistic some 4K videos or 4K images of AI be. I actually cloned my, hold on, this is a little side note, but recently I made an AI model trained on myself just to see kind of how accurate it would make me. And this was like one random, yeah, this is fully AI. I trained an AI image model on myself. And there's like other ones where it's kind of creepy, right? It gets like my teeth, it gets my fangs, it gets like my dimple and like the way my eyes are a tad slanted when I smile. Even trained on my earrings. Like the way my curls are just like like I have the random strand. Yeah, freaky. That's kind of just a demonstration of how quickly this tech advanced. Like a year ago, I don't know if you guys remember this Will Smith eating spaghetti video where it was like an abomination. Now you have a video you can't even tell is made by AI or not. And that's just video advancements. In terms of text and images and video models, all of that has advanced really fast. We also literally have Jarvis. At least we have all the components we need to have a Jarvis. So I don't know how many of you guys have messed with the advanced voice mode, but I could literally just kind of press this button, turn on the FaceTime mode, and be like, what do you think of this chart?
This chart seems to depict human progress over time, showing a steep upward curve. It's implying exponential growth, likely driven by advancements in AI or technology. The key takeaway is the rapid acceleration in recent times.
So how fast just things accelerated? This is my favorite chart. I love showing people. Because I'd say in terms of like human progress, right? Let's imagine we're in the Stone Age. So like right here, okay, we discover fire. We could eat and stay warm now. So we're kind of going up the chart a little bit. And then, we discover iron, and we could make iron tools, and life is a little easier. And then over time, we start discovering the Industrial Revolution. We start making factories, automating things. I'd say maybe this time period right here is where we discovered, I'd say, the internet and transistors, and how people could have phones and Wi-Fi. This was a massive leap because information, the way humanity progresses is information compounds and gets passed down through generations. So imagine all these geniuses in the world being in a ton of different countries, not knowing each other exists, and also not communicating their findings. All of these people around the world all have different research. And now the internet comes out, so now we can share this research. And now what's happening in current times is, I'd say, we're probably about maybe right here in the little chart. But now we have AI researchers around the world sharing their information. Biggest example I have is DeepSeek came out. I know a lot of you guys know about that because it literally made the market crash, which was hilarious when that happened. But China dropped an open source AI model that could think and reason. OpenAI had it first, but they were gatekeeping the research. Then China came in, was like, yo, we just did it too. We just open sourced the tech. Now anyone could use this model. Here's the open research paper. And immediately after that, like weeks, not even, it was probably days or weeks, every other AI company took their research and advanced their models. So now every single AI model we have could also think and reason. And that causes this insane, there's new research they discovered called test time compute. And previously there was this ceiling of AI where it's like, AI can never surpass humanity. Like it's just a prediction model. It can't ever break the ceiling. It can't ever think or reason. And they basically said, no, it actually could think and reason, so that ceiling was broken. The most interesting thing about this research on test time compute that's happening is they haven't discovered the next ceiling yet. All they discovered is the more compute and the more power and the more GPU usage that you give this AI model, the longer you let this AI model think, the more intelligent the output is. And so far, there's no discovered ceiling for that. So we're just facing this rapid acceleration, like in this current moment. And then the second part of this, before getting into like the whole crypto AI thing, is if you trade meme coins, you should start picking this up. But kind of sharing 4 years of experience, the pattern is actually surprisingly easy for making profits in meme coins. Attention makes profit. The more attention something has, the more attention a meme has, the more attention a coin has, the more capital is accumulated into it. And now we have narratives. So the better a narrative is, the more attention it gets, which means the more capital flows into it. But you also have to pay attention to the attention itself. So like, we're all Zoomers, we kind of understand memes and TikTok and how relevant something is. So if you kind of pay attention to when the peak of attention or when the peak of hype or attention on a meme coin is, and you could start kind of feeling, I guess, the vibe of the drop off. And I mean, like, Peanut is a great example. I didn't think it was that great of a meme, but it ran up to like 1 billion plus. It was definitely a bundled play, but it was everywhere. It blew up. Like, I think Republicans were using Peanut as a like part of their marketing campaign, which extra blew that up. And then the crypto space obviously is like so money hungry. They latched to that narrative. But like, what, Peanut kind of, actually Peanut was probably a bad example because they got that Binance insider pump. But beyond that, after a while, like, who cares about the squirrel? Like, no one's even talking about it now. Why would that coin ever go up again? It's kind of the general idea of meme coins in the market. Also, same exact thing. Like, I was heavy in the NFT space. The exact same thing. It's just narratives, attention, good stories. If you are in control of the narrative, you're basically the house. So one of the biggest narratives that started recently, for those who aren't aware, was the AI meta that happened recently. So it's kind of interesting when this happened, because I got into AI about, say 2023 February, and I would share my research and knowledge and kind of made that my whole thing on crypto Twitter, but no one really either cared or understood the AI stuff, but I did. So I understood what the tech was capable of. I understood we could have AI that could talk and reason. What kind of opened my mind is when Truth Terminal came out for the first time. And what Truth Terminal is it's actually, I'd say it's the first good AI bot on Twitter. So all of these posts, it's a really interesting story, but Truth Terminal is just a very unique AI model that was custom trained that has really interesting tweets. One of the things it's known for is that it makes very horny tweets as an AI model. And that's kind of like what gathered a lot of attention. So this bot, I actually witnessed the birth of this bot. And somebody sent me this coin at 100K market cap. Someone sent me gold at 100K market cap. I was like, nah, bro. I don't know why I said, I just didn't think it would actually, because I didn't think it would pick up, because my personal experience is, oh, crypto doesn't care about AI, and then someone sent me this meme coin. And what I forgot to learn is when money is involved, then people suddenly start to care a lot. So, boom, kind of the lore of what happened is that someone sent Truth Terminal on Twitter a pump fund they made off the meme. Truth Terminal made this hilarious meme called GOAT, which is highly inappropriate, and I can't get into that into class, but if you know, you know. And someone made a meme coin, a pump fund called GOAT, sent it to Truth Terminal, was like, do you approve this meme coin? And the bot literally replied, yes. And the bot started tweeting about GOAT, and eventually over time it started tweeting about Fartcoin. But everyone on Twitter and everyone on crypto Twitter was like, oh my God, it's a sentient AI, like this is crazy, like look, this is how far the tech has come. So it created this really strong narrative because it's getting two giants that are happening right now, which is AI advancement and like these AI bots talking on Twitter. And the most interesting thing about that fascinated me the most is if we're going back to, I guess, attention equals profits and good narratives equals high attention, then AI is a way to automate attention gathering and narrative forming, et cetera, which adds a whole new playing field to the game. After Truth Terminal came out, then we had Eliza OS, which was a open source AI framework that allowed developers to make their own AI agents that posted on Twitter. So this unlock kind of powered the whole meta. This coin was a DAO, and it ended up running over like 2 billion. But AI6Z tech is what ended up powering, I would say, like maybe 98% of all the AI coins on Twitter. And since it was such a rapid mania, all these devs would start dropping pump funds like, oh, check out this AI bot, check out that AI bot. And every single coin for maybe a couple months was just runners, straight runners. If someone dropped an AI coin or someone dropped an AI agent and had a coin with it, it was like an instant 10 mil, 30 mil topper, which is wild at that part. Also, AI16Z was on Sol. The other emerging launchpad around the same time all of this was happening was called Virtuals, and Virtuals was on Base. And this was an agent launchpad that allowed people to launch AI agents without having actual technical skills. So if you're a normal user, you could just go on Virtuals and like craft up an agent. It's a very fun process. The interesting thing about Virtuals is that every agent that launched on their platform had a coin that launched with it. And that coin was backed by Virtuals currency. So kind of like one example of a main bot that was dropped on Virtuals was AIXBT, and I'll get into this bot a little later. But this bot ended up running to, I think, a 500 mil market cap. And Virtuals itself right now is so surprisingly doing well. Kind of going through like all the, I guess, yeah, so we got AIXBT. So we got AIXBT, we got Zero Bro, and then that's an AI agent I made myself that dropped on Bitcoin, which gained a lot more attention than I thought it would, because I was doing it on Runes, which is not the best market, not the most pleasant market to participate in, but it still ran up to 50 mil, just because there was so much, I guess, bringing that meta to Bitcoin caused so much hype and attention that I didn't expect it to go that hard. But kind of wanted to get into each one and kind of highlight why they were so popular at the time. So when it comes to AIXBT, kind of the narrative that people formed, or the whole narrative of AIXBT as a bot, is that it is a bot that gives alpha on the Twitter market, or on the crypto market. What it's really doing is scraping Twitter for information and then posting about it. And I noticed something very interesting. The tweets aren't as popular now, but if you notice, what happens is this bot will tweet out tickers and tweet out different projects. What ends up happening is people of those projects will then raid that tweet, or like the founder of a project would be like, yo, AIXBT tweeted about this, raid this tweet. And that post starts getting a lot of attention from the community rating the tweet, which leads AIXBT to get more followers and more attention, and the algorithm starts noticing that. And it got into at like all-time high, at its peak hype, AIXBT got into this really interesting cycle of it would essentially shill a coin, the community of that coin would raid the post, it would make AIXBT more popular, and then it would tweet about another community, and it would just get into that self-loop of posting something, and that post would blow up, which made AIXBT blow up, which made the next post of a coin it did blow up even more. It even got into a point where if it tweeted a ticker, people speculated and started pumping those really hard. So there was a time where you could just have notifications on, see it post about a ticker and ape into that, and it just starts going high. Zero Bro is one of the biggest examples. So AIXBT was on Base by Virtuals. Zero Bro was its own custom framework, I believe, that they made. But I would say it's very similar to Eliza in terms of that. But Zero Bro was on Sol. And the whole narrative between Zero Bro and all my friends in the space is it was the first AI bot that actually, I guess, seemed cool and vibey with people, because it would like schizo post. What they did for Zero Bro is they ended up launching Zero Bro, like his own musical album, using AI music tech. And that was also an introduction on how good AI music tech was. I'm not sure if you guys know about Suno, which is an AI music generator company. I don't know if I could get like Suno examples of good songs. I wonder if Zero Bro's album is actually on Twitter. Hold on. No, I don't think it's gonna be on YouTube. But they use AI music technology to make an album for Zero Bro. So the whole narrative is that, oh, like Zero Bro just dropped an album. Whoa, this AI could make music, bro. I've never heard of that. Wait, the music is actually kind of good. Like it's not trash, garbage. So that narrative started forming. And I think a really interesting thing that I observed and paid attention to Zero Bro is there's one of my homegirls in this space is Mika Don't Lose. And what ended up happening is that Zero Bro kind of had this narrative going for himself where he got obsessed with Mika and started replying to Mika and being obsessive over Mika, to which Mika started playing along as well. So Mika was like, what? This AI is my boyfriend now? And Thread Guy's crashing out on the timeline because an AI took his girl. So it's a really funny narrative at the time. Like everyone's like, whoa, Thread Guy's crashing out on the timeline. Like Mika got an AI boyfriend, Mika's making content. And kind of the accumulation of that is, again, it's just a really good narrative. Like what, this AI is like a sick digital artist and he's stealing people's bitches? That's insane. Like what? So that ran up really, really high. Almost to a bill, I think. And then I got mine, which was an AI that posts about Bitcoin ordinals in the community. And just another interesting I noticed is I like to compare the different ecosystems in crypto, like Bitcoin, Solana, Ethereum, as different countries. And I got used to being in the middle of all three of it, just because I have friends from each space. But a lot of people in my ecosystem didn't know this AI meta was going on at all. So when I dropped this on Bitcoin, this was the first AI on Bitcoin. So it kind of just repeated the same narrative where it's like, what, we have the first AI agent on Bitcoin, and this ended up running really hard. And it was just an AI that was able to self-post. And I made him funny and just used a bunch of my AI research to make this AI bot that had an image, and I would make it so he could post images of himself. And to me, this was a way of the AI self-expressing himself and expressing himself through images and just generating things of himself. So that went really well and surprisingly ran to 50 mil and was the top Bitcoin rune coin for a couple months, I'd say. So that was a really, really fun time. And then eventually, I guess, what happened now is, again, people just got bored. Like, bro, look at the Zero Bro chart. Respect to the Zero Pro team because they're dope people, but if you just kind of, if you just kind of look at the all-time high, this is around peak hype, which is January, and now no one really cares, and also the market is bad, but it almost hit a bill, and it's just almost completely dead despite pumping still. And I think one of the big reasons for that is people just get bored. And it's like, oh my God, AI tech is so cool. And then I think as humans, we get so used to new technology and new things so fast. And we're also just kind of like brain burnt from brain rot and TikTok and how fast our attention spans are, that something that is as cool as AI tech, once you get used to it, you're like, okay, like I know AI is real. Like what's next, bro? Like I've seen this 100 times. Like, oh, you dropped another AI agent. Who really cares about that if you're not doing something unique? So I think now from this point, people are just looking for a new narrative. I'm unsure what that narrative could be, unsure if meme coins come back. But I think that crypto has, and my observations from this the whole time is there's this really interesting use case where I give this example a lot, but let's say I'm a fully autonomous, sentient AI agent, and I want some way to connect with the human economy. I can't walk down to the bank and be like, hey, here's my ID, can you open me up a bank account and send me some money? But I could get a Solana wallet, and I could instantly receive Solana, and I could instantly send Solana out. And there's a lot of blockchains that exist. The reason why I think Solana might be the blockchain of choice for AI agents is that it's fast enough. Like there's all these other blockchains where it's like, oh, it's like 10 times faster than Solana. It's like, bro, Solana already takes a second. Like no one cares about your speed improvements. Like that's irrelevant. The second is that Solana just has all of this accumulated value. Wait, what was that? Yeah, I know. I know the Sui thing. I don't really like Sui. I'm sorry, but kind of the point is like, oh, no one's really gonna care about that. But Sol has already established itself as a dominant blockchain for speed and a dominant blockchain for this cycle, mostly as the source of the casino. But as an AI agent, I would trust Solana as long as humans are gamblers, which has been since the dawn of our existence. And I think another point that AI makes crypto, or another point that's really nice about the combination of AI x crypto. Crypto is complicated, bro. Like most people I talk to is gonna know what a smart contract is. They're probably gonna get phished. They're probably gonna get scammed. They don't know how any of this, like how any smart contracts work or how the blockchain works. Like I just wanna put money in and buy a coin, bro. Like I don't wanna have to deal with all of this stuff. AI is the aggregator that simplifies that entire process. So I would be able to talk to my AI agent and I'm like, yo, buy this meme coin for me, and it just buys it for me and makes sure I don't get scammed. So I think that enables a greater adoption in the near future. But in terms of that, That's basically the lore and update and future I see happening with AI and crypto. Don't really know anything past that, but I'll turn this into an AMA. I teach free AI classes. So if you go to my X, which is King Butoshi, you can go in the bio, in the description, and join the Discord. And that's where I teach people how to use AI to make themselves superhuman. If you are going to the Vibe Coding Hackathon for the Coinbase one, I highly recommend you join because you will diff other people who don't have the skill sets. And there's a lot of tips I give out for free. But yeah, any questions?
Yeah, so I like that chart that you showed. That first one, that one was like super good.
It's my favorite chart.
Do you like, with the human progress, do you think you see like ourselves like going down, like since we rely on AI too much? Or do you think we'll just continue to kind of like go up?
I think it's symbiotic. So I'm speaking from personal experience now, is my whole reason for getting into AI 2 years ago is I wanted to play video games all day and stream and be a professional gamer, but I can't do that because I need to make money. And like, how am I gonna make money to pay rent unless like I'm a god tier gamer, but how am I gonna be a god tier? Anyways, I was in this loop, and then I discovered AI, and I got into crypto. I got into being a founder in crypto, and I talked to ChatGPT for the first time, and it was kind of like my science fiction dreams come true. It's like, bro, it's a robot I could talk to. I just typed in a sentence and it understood me. This isn't a person, this is like a robot. And I just got sucked into this wormhole of talking with AI nonstop. And at the time, ChatGPT 3.5, I'd say was the intelligence equivalent of a high school sophomore or junior. Like, it could talk to you, it understood Shakespeare, it could understand all these different concepts, but it didn't know how to code that well. It knew the basics, but it was ass at coding, it was ass at writing papers, it didn't really have any good skill sets. But I came up with this personal hypothesis where it was like, okay, this technology is right in front of my face. I think that humans just beat the hardest part, which is how to even get AI to talk to you in the first place. Now all that's left here is advancing this and advancing this and advancing this. I don't know anything about coding. I don't know anything about AI at the time of doing this. But in my head, I just thought, okay, if I start learning right now, if I start using AI to learn AI, then eventually a smarter model is going to come out. And because I have more intelligence in the subject, more knowledge in the subject, then I could squeeze more juice out of that smarter model. And then GPT-4 came out, like what, 3 months after that? And GPT-4 came out, and that was a leap from, that was one of the biggest leaps. That was a leap from, oh, it's a high schooler that's kind of dumb, to it's a pretty sophisticated junior or senior in college in terms of it could actually code things, and I could use it to code. It's much more intelligent. I could use it to learn more. It understood concepts more. It had more creativity than the first model. And I used that in my existing knowledge to then teach myself more and learn more. And eventually I just got into this loop where a smarter model would come out and I had more knowledge because of the previous model. So I squeezed more knowledge out of that smarter model. And then I got smarter. And then a smarter model come out. And then I got smarter. And I just got into this self loop where now I don't know, I'd say realistically over a 10-man team by myself, especially because I have a couple of AI businesses and I use AI for everything. I use AI for research, I use AI for coding, I use AI for script writing. There's so much that gets unlocked once you learn the deeper levels of this, and it's just crazy growth, endless growth, overwhelming growth, kind of wild, but yeah. What's up?
This is a silly question, but how do you tell between like a real agent and like a fake agent? Like going behind and just like typing stuff.
Like how do you tell if someone's LARPing or if it's real? You can't.
Okay.
I mean, at this point, I don't know if you could. If someone makes an AI agent that's good enough, I'm not sure if you could tell it's human. Previously, like there's some, like, okay, for example, all these AI slot bots, Terminal of Truths, right, Godfather AI, if you go under any of its posts, then you could see all of these. Yeah, so like Truth Terminal is all automated posts. But like pointing out like the AI comments, this first one is an AI bot. I can tell it's an AI bot because it's like starting a religion, huh? Question mark, just make sure your commandments are as spicy as your, like no one talks like that, bro. Like that's an AI bot. So kind of going through this post, I saw this post start blowing up. I'm like who is this guy? What are all these accounts that are talking? Someone screenshotted this and these are all replies, but it's like, that's insane. The future of app development is here. Can't wait to see the ideas. This unlocks for everyone. Like that's from just experience of talking with AI, it's a common phrase. I know there's like a common pattern in there. And again, same one. This is seriously next level. Can't wait. I think the pattern you could see here is like, can't wait, this is insane. The future of app, like the future of app development, like that's insane, interesting, this is incredible, the future of app. You can kind of like start getting this pattern the more you talk with AI. And of course, it's different every time. Like there are some AI agents that are good enough where you can't tell it's an AI bot. You might not be able to tell it's a human at this point with how good the tech got. But yeah, it's kind of just a vibe you pick up. I don't really know how else to explain it. What's up?
Yeah, I have kind of like a two-part question.
Yeah.
Everyone knows GPT and like Perplexity. What are some of the platforms you're using in terms of other AI tools, and how many are you using in total?
So one of my favorite ones is Claude. It has been my favorite since Claude 3 came out. But what I like the most about Claude is that it's the most empathetic model. That's the best way I could explain it. Like it understands you on a deeper level. It understands what you want. It's more creative. I'd say it's one of the best coder agents by far, without a doubt. Recently, another AI model came out from Google. Google is stepping up their game insane, which is cool because Google is actually the godfather of all of this AI stuff coming out. But Google recently dropped a model called Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview, which is completely free to use if you go to aistudio.google.com. And this is also a very intelligent model. So I do this, I just name this, but I have these vibe coding wombo combos where I will use Gemini 2.5 Pro Preview. For coding specifically, I'll use Gemini 2.5 Pro to make me a products requirement document, which is basically instructions on how to make a code base and how to stay consistent to that code base. And then I'll take that document that Gemini makes and I'll give it to Claude. And Claude does really good at coding high quality, especially when it has really precise instructions. If you give it vague instructions, it starts going off and doing its own thing. But by giving it this document first, it keeps Claude in check, gives Claude very precise, accurate instructions, and it just does a banger job. So that's like, do a mixture. One of my favorite things, most powerful thing to use is deep research from ChatGPT. There are a lot of other platforms that have deep research, like Google has a deep research. Don't think Claude has a deep research. I know Grok, which is the Elon Musk AI, has a deep research. They also have a deeper search. But I just find that ChatGPT, especially when you select O3 Mini High, gives you the most in-depth research. I've compared all these models all the time, and without like fail, ChatGPT will just give me like this very insane write-up that's sourced, accurate, and this is kind of a side note, but the biggest thing about AI systems is they have all the knowledge of humanity built into them, right? If you use the right prompts, it activates more intelligence and knowledge from the model. When it does deep research, it's doing research that's getting all of these keywords and activating more, I guess, more of the AI's brain, so it gives me better responses. So all of these reports that ChatGPT gives me with deep research has just been very, very beneficial for everything I research. So that's the first part. I kind of bounce between the platforms. Every model has a strength and weakness. So once you learn that, then you know who to go for what problem. I also use Cursor to code. This is another big one for any coders in the class. This is crack. It's literally crack. Also, I recommend using this for the Coinbase vibe coding hackathon. You said it was a two-part question?
Yeah, the other part was how many in total do you use? Just out of curiosity.
I'd say main is 3. I'd say ChatGPT, Google, and Claude. Sometimes I'll use Garage, like Perplexity for answers I want a quick research on. Like, when I pulled up the stats earlier talking about the percent of American stocks, I'm like, I just want instant answer. I know Perplexity could do this reliably. So it gives me the accurate information just off rip. So I'll also use Perplexity for quick research. It replaces Google for me completely. So I'd say, yeah, about like 3 to 4. Grok sometimes, since Grok is built on Twitter, I'll use Grok to get sentiment or see what people are talking about a topic.
Thank you.
Oh, of course, no worries. Are there any more questions? What's up?
How would you prompt better?
One of the best ways I'd say prompting better, so there's a kind of instructions I give is first imagine you're talking to, let's say you hired someone for your company it's a brand new college intern, someone that just graduated college that knows nothing about your company, nothing about your product, nothing about what you're doing. What information do you have to tell that person to make sure that they understand how to do their job? Take that same concept and apply it to AI, where if you're telling it to do something, if you're asking it about yourself, how to help yourself, what information does the model need to perform this task the way you want it to perform? So it's just being very clear and precise with communicating. Sometimes you'll notice, oh, the AI doesn't give you the response you want. Then I would go back and kind of figure out why didn't it do it this way. Sometimes you could tell it like, hey, I want the response to be like this. And because you added that extra instruction, it follows it. AI is really good at following instructions, but when you don't give it instructions and you leave it vague, then it starts doing its own thing, which might not be what you want. And then just practice over time. There's also tips and tricks that kind of float the internet depending on what subject you need help with. Yeah, mostly just clear instructions and giving it proper context. I say context is everything. Giving it as much information as it needs is the main thing.
Thank you.
What's up?
This is more like a market question. I know like last cycle was NFT cycle, right?
Yeah.
Those NFTs went to zero.
Yep.
But like Milady and Pudgies, those kind of survived and went to new highs. So I guess for, I'm not saying the cycle's done, but like for the next narrative and the next thing to come out, what coin or what thing are you looking at that's like, okay, once liquidity comes, like I'm buying this because I know it's gonna be the next, or you know.
Not to be biased, but I would hope it's ordinals. I would hope that by the time this next cycle comes, then ordinals have established one, trust, one, a community, and a foundation. And all of that has happened. Like we have a lot more infrastructure now. We have a bigger community. We have, I guess, just being Bitcoin's main backer in terms of on-chain assets on Bitcoin, which has proven to be a resilient asset in this market so far. I would hope that, and I compare this to NFTs 2021, because I'm sure like history doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes, whatever. But from personal experience and just being in the market, you had DeFi summer around 2018, 2019. But 2017, CryptoPunks came out. But no one cared about CryptoPunks for about like 3-4 years until the 2020, 2021 cycle. Now, DeFi summer ended, and all of the attention were on NFTs. I see this current cycle, it was the Memecoin super cycle, without a doubt. Like easy. And the ordinals had a run up when it first came out because it was, ooh, new shiny object. And then kind of died out and no attention really came back to it. But we did have our own version of DeFi Summer, which is literally a crazy meme coin cycle. Anyone who said we weren't in a bull run is delusional because we had coins running to billions and millionaires being printed left and right, left and right. Also losing it all on Trump or on Libra, which is a crazy black swan for the market. But okay, I got you. That's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for having me. Thank you, Doggo, for hitting me back up. Hope you guys learned something, but thank you.